Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am back for another Slim Sports interview. And as always, I'm your host, Jay Slim. And joining me today is a familiar face of the show. Had him on last year after he made it to March Madness with UAB, returned to his roots at North Alabama this past year, and continued to make history for the Lions, where it all began for him in his collegiate career. I'm talking about a 6 foot point guard, Daniel Ortiz. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Excited to have you on once again. You got to go back to your roots this past season, playing for North Alabama, played alongside a star-studded lineup of Lions greats, guys that have been there for a long time that you obviously played with during the start of your career, and you guys
hmm
made history for this program. And you yourself, you have so many accolades to your name that I want to talk about that fans and viewers need to get to know in a quick segment that I like to call Rewind and Recap. Just going to rewind the clock back to your first time with North Alabama, where in your second season as a sophomore, you were an All-ASUN second team selection back in 2023. Ended up spending the 23-24 season with UAB, where you helped them to a conference tournament championship and the NCAA tournament, made it to March Madness. Afterwards, returned back to North Alabama, brought that winning mentality back with you, and once again earned All ASUN honors, made the All ASUN third team this year in 2025, and helped lead North Alabama to their first ever NIT tournament appearance in 2025 as well. So you were able to be a part of North Alabama your first 2 years, and then obviously made your way to UAB for that 1 year where you guys made it to March Madness. You had a whole lot of success. That was one of the best UAB teams that the program had ever had, I believe, when it came to the numbers and the amount of wins you guys had. What would you say you brought back with you to North Alabama from your time at UAB that really translated to the rest of the program as well as your teammates with the Lions?
I would say I brought back just sort of a mentality, just a guy with some experience, a guy who's seen, what it takes to get it done, um, at a very high level. Somebody who was going, spread the wealth, somebody who's going to spread knowledge, who's going to help others. Um, who's somebody who knows what practice looks like, who knows what competition, competing at the highest level looks like. And once again, like I said, just somebody who knows how what it takes to get there. Because we did it the year before, obviously, and we I saw what every practice looked like. I saw how we challenged each other. I saw how we pushed each other. And that was one of our biggest things this year. And for my 4 years being in college, one of the most impressive things I've been a part of. Um, just every day, from June all the way to the end of the season in March. The competition piece of practice just took it to a whole different level this year. With the way we competed, the way we went at each other each and every day in practice, we had great practices on top of great practices, and it was just very consistent. We every day, no matter what the game was like, no matter what the situation was, we challenged each other at practice, and we chose to come in there with the right energy, with the right mindset, and knowing what the bigger goal is, and being bigger than ourselves, and we it led to great things this year, and I was grateful for it.
Yeah, you came back to North Alabama to a great group of experienced players that have been there for years, and they obviously knew what you could do with you having played with them your first 2 years of college, where you were an all ASUN guy. You averaged, I believe, 14 points per game as a freshman, brought that up to, I think, around 15 as a sophomore when you earned your all ASUN second team honors in 2023. Obviously left for that year and came back. You and I talked about last time I had you on your expectations when you were returning. Obviously, Jakari Lane took on that role of being, the main guy for North Alabama during your absence. You came back right away. You were able to contribute throughout the season. It's almost like you never left, but you did end up taking kind of that second scoring option role, allowing Jakari to remain as that number one option with what he was able to do. How quickly how long did it take for you to really get back into the swing of things, into the system that North Alabama had in place? And how did you kind of take on that role of, I'm a veteran guy, I'm going to let Jakari go off and be him, and I'm going to be that number two guy?
Well, it was pretty easy, honestly. Coming back, it was a lot of familiar faces. It wasn't a lot of like new changes. Like I was familiar with. Like, so I kind of knew what I was stepping into. And far as the role that I took last year with Kari, like it was just like that's my brother, that's my boy. So it was easy, man. Like I told you a while back when we had the interview the first time after I was leaving UAB that when I came there, I didn't want to make anybody uncomfortable. I wanted Kari to be the best version of himself, and that's what he did this year. And I was happy, proud to be there with him. It's enough on the plate for everybody to eat, and I ate a lot, so and I could have ate more. I mean, I feel like my percentages weren't as good as I wanted them to be. So that what I averaged could have been like 2 3 points higher. So that was more on me than anything. So I was so proud of him and how he played this year, and I was just grateful to be, his backcourt mate. And I really enjoyed seeing his growth firsthand.
Yeah, and the two of you, as well as a lot of great scorers on this team that we'll get into here in a sec, led North Alabama to a 24-11 overall record, 14-4 conference record in ASUN play, where I believe you guys were the co-ASUN regular season champions along with Lipscomb, who both of you guys obviously made it to the ASUN tournament championship game. And you guys ended up getting the first ever NIT appearance for North Alabama. And you're a guy that was with them, I believe, when they made it to the CBI a while back as well, where you've helped them to both of their Division One postseason tournament appearances in program history. So, what was the difference for North Alabama this year compared to your first 2 years of college when you were with the Lions still, that you really took notice of that helped you guys get to all of these big time appearances?
The difference the first 2 years and these 2 years was just like sometimes you gotta be able to learn like the game of college, the pace of the game, like, and more so for me, like, in the squad we had, we all grew up mentally. Like we all had physical, capabilities. We was all capable at the physical level, but mentally was where we had to learn to grow. And man, that's the difference. I probably say within these last 2 years, myself and as a team, like mentally, I see things. The game's way slower. Like I see plays. I watch more film. I study things, so it's like I see plays before they happen. I know where teams want to go. How you read the game, how the game's going, who's killing on their team. You know where they want to go with the ball. Things like that. Me and my teammates, a couple weeks ago was actually talking about like something we'll miss about this season, something that's rare in UNA history. Like um, the way we were able to dissect teams and really um collab together on things and be on the same page and understand scout report and teams tendencies was just truly amazing. Like we were such a seasoned group that we'll know plays that teams want to run and we'll shut them down before they can do them. So stuff like that mentally, man. It was more so mentally within these last 2 years that was different between my first 2 years.
Yeah, and you definitely made a lot of big time plays this past season for North Alabama, and I want to talk about some of them in another segment that I like to call Make That Play. Going to show off some of the best highlights that you had this past season. I went through Synergy, looked through all of your makes. Obviously, took me a while to go through all of them, but I have my top three right here on my list for this segment. But I do want to ask you, because you are the guy on the court doing what you do best. What would you say was your top play from this past season?
My top play, um, that's a tough one. My top play would probably be I think Kari kicked it out. It was kind of like the dagger. Kari kicked it out, pump fake. I think Rob McCray flew by, and I made it after that, and the crowd kind of just went crazy. It was a few of them. There was a few games where it's like I always seem to like hit the shot that's the dagger that kind of like you really know the game is over. So I love making shots like that.
Absolutely. You definitely have that range from beyond the arc. And I do have a three-pointer on my list, but that isn't what's number one because number one, what I do have is a big time play in the ASUN quarterfinals against Austin P at home, home court advantage. You ended up driving the baseline, nice little up and under, and got the foul for the and one. Absolutely incredible. Still don't know how you made it. I watched that clip probably 10 times because it was just absolutely athletic. Number two, against Northwestern State on the road, you ended up driving in a little bit, hit him with a hezzy, came back out for a step back three-pointer against the Demons to help put your team in front. And then number three, drove right down the middle against Jacksonville in the ASUN semifinals into a triple team. You had two help defenders collapsing with your defender right on your hip as well. And you went up for another big time athletic layup, drew the foul once again for an and one opportunity. So you knew how to make big time plays and big time moments. Obviously, you just mentioned hitting that dagger. You yourself, I mean, you're one of six double figure scorers for this team, where I believe four of those six, including yourself, had spent most of their career with North Alabama. I know Jakari Lane, this was his third year, I believe. Then there were two others where they both spent all 4 or 5 of their years with
Yeah.
the Lions. So talk to me real quick about, how this experience with guys in this North Alabama system really helped you guys overall to be one of the top teams in the ASUN.
You said the experience with this. Okay. Yeah. Kind of like I was hitting on earlier. Bro, like we just know each other so well, and we're so close on and out the court. Like, especially me and Zakari. Like, we're all close, and even some of the new guys coming in this year, we all got close, and it's like five of us. We call each other Fab Five. Like we real close. Like we all so close. So it's like we got group chats, we talking consistently. We stay in the same apartment complex, so we just step outside, see each other, step outside, step next door, open they door and walk in, just yell. Like it's just like we just so close. So it's like when we step on the court, like it's just seamless. It's like we just get each other. We just know, what somebody gives you that it's time. Like we just get it. Like it's time to win. We just locked in defensively. Like we know what we hang our hat on, which was defense this year. Like we really dialed into that a couple times, especially in the tournament. Once the ASUN tournament started, our defense like just it was at a different level this year. So we was just so connected. And it's true when people say like, man, the more connected you are, the better you play. Because when you really want to do it for your brother, when you really are happy for the guy beside you, it's just like it's a different level. And that's kind of what it was this year. And I enjoyed it, man. I appreciated it.
You averaged 11.6 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, a steal per game while shooting 33% from the beyond the arc. Had 28 points in an overtime win against Austin P, where you knocked down 5 threes. Against Bellarmine, you had 26 points where you knocked down, I believe it was 8 threes in that game. And your team as a whole, I mean, second in the ASUN in points per game, first in rebounds per game. And on a national scale, you guys ranked second in the entire NCAA in fewest turnovers per game. I believe it was under 9 per game. It was around like 8.7, 8.8 per game, somewhere around there, which is incredible. So you guys as a whole really found your rhythm, especially in ASUN conference action. Ended up going back and forth with the first couple of conference games and then went on a tear to place towards the top of the ASUN standings. You and Lipscomb obviously shared the regular season title, and you guys ended up beating Austin P in the quarterfinals 90 to 64, beat Jacksonville in the semifinals 78 to 63 before taking on Lipscomb in the championship game, where you guys actually beat Lipscomb in the regular season as well, 74 to 64 at home at UNA. So you guys managed to always come out in these big time moments. What went into this run in conference action and in those first two games of the conference tournament to where you guys just seem to find your rhythm so well?
Um, I feel like it was a well balanced team. Like we all just fed off each other great. Like you got Kari dissecting the defense, getting in and out of the paint. You got me, like you can't leave me. Like you gotta focus on me. I probably draw two, Kari draws two, Tay draws two. So it's like pick your poison. And that kind of was why we were so good, we were so experienced. We knew what it took to win. it was huge, and we made history. We brought the community out. I mean, man, even the phone call, even the interview we had a while back, like what I told you was kind of what we did. Like we didn't make it all the way to March, but we made history. And like a lot of things that was unfortunate that happened in the season, like I broke my hand. I had my hand was broke during the Lipscomb game. Like it's like things that we wish would have went different ways, but it didn't. So it's like, man, you just gotta be grateful for the journey and how things went. So that's mostly how I look at it.
Yeah, and you are going down in North Alabama history as one of the top players that they've had in their program. There's no doubt. Obviously, multiple All-ASUN selections, helping them to both of their Division One postseason tournaments in program history. I know you're up there in the record books and points and assists, and I'm sure three pointers made and percentage. I'm sure you're on that list as well. I know you shot over 40% from three your sophomore year with the Lions. How do you look back on your career with North Alabama, and how do you feel fans and members of the program will look back on you as a part of that program's history?
Um, Man, humbly, man, I feel like I respect all the people that came before us, and I appreciate them for paving the way for us. But I feel like I'm one of the greatest UNA players of all time, honestly, and especially in the D1 era. Um, is what I accomplished. I left for a year. If I would have did all 4 years, I feel like I would have had almost every record. But I have numerous scoring records. I have the D1 scoring record. I have in a game. Most points scored in a game. I think it's tied with me and Kari. I have the most threes made in the game. I have the most threes made in the season, I believe. Like I have second most threes made in the season, I believe. So it's like, I think number three scorer in the D1 era. Number like top 10 in all time. So I feel like, man, I've used what God's given me, and I've tried to maximize. I work on my craft relentlessly, and I just try to do the best, be the best version of myself on the court. So, and be the best teammate I can be. And I'm just grateful for the guys I've had around me. The blessings I've had to play this game, and Coach Poole and his staff taking a chance on me to come get me from Shreveport, Louisiana. During that weird time where COVID was at its height and stuff. So I'm just grateful for my career, and I honestly wouldn't change anything. Like, um, I'm grateful for the time I had, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be able to just have played the game I played. So yeah, I'm thankful for my career and how it went.
Yeah, I've been able to see you play in person since the start of your North Alabama career, back when I was still doing stats for FGCU. Got a chance to come see you and Jakari light it up in person. I made sure to let my FGCU people know after that game that the top two scores for North Alabama, both part of the Slim Sports family. You guys lit it up during that game, and I was definitely happy to get a picture with you guys afterwards because I know you guys are very underrated. You guys don't get talked about enough. Obviously, coming from a mid-major program, the ASUN, a lot of those teams, players in those programs don't get talked about like they should. Jakari, thankfully, he's getting recognized by Power Five teams. He's going off to Texas A&M, I believe. You got
Yeah.
to do your thing at UAB for a year before coming back. And I'm always trying to find ways to get guys like yourselves on this podcast so I can get your names out there, show off the highlights a little bit more so people can recognize your name. And that's why I have this segment that I like to call Who's Up Next. In this segment, you can actually give me some names that I can reach out to, have on the podcast to help promote them as well. Two rules, though. First of which, whoever you recommend got to help me reach out, got to help me get them on, which you've done in the past already. So I appreciate that. And number two, I do need at least one name of somebody that wasn't with North Alabama this past season, but you can still give some North Alabama guys if you want.
Okay. Okay. Who's up next? I would say we got a freshman he was a freshman this year. He'll be coming into his sophomore year this year. His name Kevin Dukovic. He's from Canada. Um, and he's nice, man. Like he's a competitor. He willing to do the work. I feel like he has a bright future here at UNA. I feel like he can do some good things, bro, for us, and hopefully, find a way to get back to that level where we was at this year. Okay, so outside of UNA, that's gonna be a tough one. I'll say my guy, Marquise Hargrove. Marquise Hargrove, he was there with me at UAB, and he's very underrated. He was coming from JUCO with another one of our friends, Yax from Lindenborg. He was he was on the scout team and stuff, and man, like he's a killer. Like he's nice, bro. He's nice, athletic. Can shoot it, can get in the paint. He has a lot of upside, and I think he has like two years of eligibility left, 2 3, and he's transferring down to a D2, I think, and man, I think he's gonna surprise a lot of people, and I think yeah, I think he's prepared. He's gonna put the work in, and I think he got a chip on his shoulder, and he gonna be good. Marquise Hargrove.
All right, there we go. Definitely gonna have to take a look at those names, check out the stats, and have them on the podcast promote their names as well. That Yaxel guy you mentioned, he's an NBA prospect right now. That dude was insane for UAB this past year. So some great names for who's up next. Now we gotta talk about what's next for yourself. Your eligibility is now up. Your college career has come to an end, and you're looking to take your talents to the professional ranks, whether that's overseas, maybe get a shot at the G League and try to make your way to the highest level possible for your basketball career. What stage are you at right now as far as, finding an agent, finding the right fit for you to continue your career to where you can go off and succeed at the highest level possible?
I feel like I'm in a good spot. Really taking my time to process. I've talked to numerous agents, but I've been able to narrow it down to two that I really like. But then very soon I'll be making a decision on that, and after that, it's just getting placed. I could be in Europe, I can be in South America. Um, Probably more so. I can't give you a specific destination, but could be Germany, could be Portugal. You know, it could be spots like that. Whatever's best spot, but whatever fits me best, and the best option to do going forward. That'll be the one we pursue. So whenever I get my agent, we'll sit down, discuss that, make sure we're on the same page, and get the train rolling. Then.
There we go, man. Definitely can't wait to see what you do at the professional ranks. Got to see what you did in college all 4 years, and now you already know I'm going to be tuning in to Daniel Ortiz' professional career for the next decade, 2 decades, however long you plan on going, man. You always got the Slim Sports family support. Definitely cannot wait to see what you do. And thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to hop on this podcast once again.
Nah, man, I appreciate you having me always, man. Always a pleasure, man.